The flight had barely begun boarding when Lorraine Brooks, 68, stepped onto the plane. She walked slowly, her cane tucked neatly under one arm, her cardigan buttoned to the top. Her seat was 12C, economy. She'd flown coach all her life, and never once complained. "Excuse me," she said gently to the flight attendant, "may I have a blanket for my legs?" Melissa, a young white attendant, scoffed. "Blankets are for premium passengers." Lorraine blinked. "I wasn't trying to." "You people always feel entitled," Melissa hissed, glancing toward other guests. And then, a sharp slap. It landed across Lorraine's cheek like thunder. A gasp shot down the aisle. Lorraine didn't cry. She simply turned her face, and looked straight ahead. But she wasn't the only one watching. The air in the cabin thickened. No one said a word. Not the man in 12D, not the couple in first class who peeked through the curtain. One flight attendant froze, tray in hand. Melissa adjusted her collar and walked away, smug. Lorraine sat down slowly, her palm covering her cheek. She looked neither left nor right. 10 minutes later, the cockpit door clicked open. Out walked Captain Donovan, tall, composed, with salt and pepper hair under his pilot cap. He didn't speak to the passengers. He walked straight down the aisle, past 10. 11. 12. Then he stopped. Saluted. "Colonel Lorraine Brooks," he said, voice clear, "you once pulled me out of hell in Kabul." Gasps rippled. Melissa turned white. Lorraine didn't move. But her eyes, they burned like fire. Captain Donovan turned to the cabin. She was a battlefield logistics commander. Saved over 120 lives. Mine included. He looked directly at Melissa. "You slapped a war hero." Melissa stuttered. I didn't know," she looked like someone who couldn't belong. Lorraine finally stood. Not with rage, but with power. Her voice was soft. "The uniform comes off. But dignity stays." She reached into her bag. Pulled out a folded letter. Official seal, Department of Defense. Melissa stepped back. The man in 12D stood up too. "I work at the Pentagon. That letter's real." Now the cabin murmured. People recording. Eyes shifted. Melissa's smirk was gone. Lorraine simply looked at her and said, "Are you cold now? You can take my blanket." Melissa broke. Tears welled. "I didn't mean to. I was told people like her." Captain Donovan cut in, voice flat. "You're relieved of duty for this flight." The assistant pilot came forward and escorted her to the galley. Lorraine didn't celebrate. She sat back down, folded her hands, and closed her eyes. Across the aisle, a little girl passed her a chocolate from the snack tray. Lorraine smiled for the first time. "Thank you, baby." A passenger whispered, "How could they treat her like that?" The man next to Lorraine whispered back, "Because they didn't see her. Just her skin." But now, the world would. When the plane landed at Reagan National, there was no applause. But outside the gate, a row of service members in uniform stood waiting, each holding a white rose. Captain Donovan walked ahead, opened the jet bridge, and extended his hand. Lorraine stepped out slowly. No fanfare. No speeches. Just presence. Just truth. As she passed by Melissa, now waiting with her bag, eyes wet, Lorraine paused. Not to shame her. Not to speak. But to place one thing in her hand. A pin. Bronze. Faded. Etched with the words, "Earn your respect." Then she walked away. Sometimes, the softest step is the loudest justice. Colonel Lorraine Brooks reminded us that dignity doesn't need a spotlight, it walks, it waits, and when the moment comes, it stands taller than those who tried to push it down. Have you ever been judged by your appearance, not your worth? Tell us in the comments. If Lorraine's quiet strength moved you, like, subscribe, and share this racist story so others remember. Some heroes don't wear medals, they carry silence like steel.